Ladies and gentlemen, yesterday a report from Jake L. Fischer of Yahoo Sports set Sixers Twitter ablaze as he dropped the news that Vj Edgecome, however you say his name, was reportedly the first player the 76ers held a private workout with, and apparently Tyrese Maxey even flew in to be part of the meeting. We're going to talk about the report. We're going to talk about what he said in the report. I want to talk about what I think about it. There's two real scenarios or possibilities that I think there's two reasons this happened is what I'm going to say. And then I kind of want to give my opinion on Vj Edgecome if the 76ers do decide to draft him at number 3 over Ace Bailey. Thanks for being here. Hit the like button for me one time. Give me 1 billion likes on this video. Subscribe to the channel if you are a hardcore 76ers fan, and only if you're a hardcore 76ers fan, or be a Knicks fan or a Celtics fan and hate watch me, that's fine too. All views are appreciated. Let's get into the business. Producer, you're fired. Where's the screen at? Here we go. Here is what Jake Fischer said essentially in this article. This was the drop that had the internet going crazy yesterday. Some more context on Milwaukee and our latest update on the draft starts with Philly at number 3. I agree with that because number 1 and 2 are basically set in stone. But Jake Fischer wrote something here for the Stein line, and this is behind a paywall that's like $100 a year, so I wasn't going to pay money to actually read it. Sometimes I do that, but I ain't doing all that, you know what I'm saying? But anyway, Jacob Moreno gave us a little bit of what Jake Fischer said in this article, and here's what he said. The prime candidate at number 3 at this juncture appears to be Baylor freshman guard Vj Edgecome, who sources say visited with the Sixers last week. There's an expectation that Philadelphia will bring in Rutgers Ace Bailey down the road, but I have not heard of a workout that Bailey has scheduled to date. So I do think it's interesting that the 76ers worked out Vj Edgecome before any other draft prospect. I do think there's something there. Now, when this first happened, when this report first came out, I was downplaying it because I was saying, you know, if they work out every prospect individually, then you as a writer can just cherry pick, and whoever they work out first, you could take that piece of information and you can run with it, and you can write a whole story about how the 76ers worked out Vj Edgecome and they have not worked out Ace Bailey, and make a whole story about it, put it behind a paywall, boom, clicks, bunch of money. I understand the system. All right. So I was downplaying it, you know, as 76ers local writers were going a little bit crazy with the report. As Kyle Neubeck said, big intel drop from Jake, who says Tyrese Maxey flew in to be part of a Sixers contingent who met with Vj Edgecome last week. Paul Hudrick, great stuff from Jake per usual. Sure sounds like the Sixers are zeroing in on Vj Edgecome. Now, like, this is a stretch on a stretch. You know, the article itself, of course, is a stretch. Like I said, you could just take the information that they worked out a player and run with it and make up a story to put it behind a paywall, and then you can read that and come up with this conclusion. Sure sounds like the Sixers are zeroing in on Vj Edgecome, barring a strong offer to trade back. I do think that's a little bit of a stretch. So I was on Twitter basically saying, listen, man, you guys got to stop taking every single report and running with it as a fact. But then I saw this. With reports today about the Sixers draft plans, Baylor guard Vj Edgecome has become the betting favorite on FanDuel Sportsbook to be selected 3rd overall. That is a big deal, because that tells you that a report like this is not just some dude making up a story to put it behind a paywall. The people in Vegas actually believe that Vj Edgecome has a better chance of being drafted at number 3 by the 76ers than Ace Bailey does. And a minus 125 Vj Edgecome, plus 230 Ace Bailey, plus 460 Trey Johnson. Then the report came out again. This is also from Jake after he said a private workout. There's an expectation that Philadelphia will bring in Rutgers Ace Bailey down the road, but I have not heard of a workout that Bailey has scheduled to date. And then literally like 30 minutes later, he tweets, a private workout with Ace Bailey is now being scheduled with Philadelphia, according to a league source. So there could be merit behind this. This could be true. The 76ers could very well be interested in Vj Edgecome over Ace Bailey straight up. And I didn't think that was a possibility this whole time leading up to the draft until yesterday. So this news is actual news. All right. But on the other side of it, it could just be that they worked out Vj Edgecome before anybody else. And now they're going to, and writers, went with it, wrote a story, made money off of the paywall, etc. And now they're going to work out Ace Bailey. And then reporters are going to do the same thing. They're going to say Ace Bailey wowed at his workout. The 76ers are now favoring Ace Bailey at the number 3 pick, and they're going to put that behind a paywall, and that's going to be their new business tactic. The main thing that I want to get across here is that this is a business tactic for online article, newspaper type of stuff. And, it frustrates me a little bit that I feel like there's so much stuff put out there every day to get clicks, and a lot of these new kids, a lot of newer NBA fans, a lot of younger NBA fans, they don't seem to understand the business behind it yet. And anytime something drops, they DM me and they take it as an absolute fact. I just want everyone to know, especially young NBA fans, this is a business tactic. Take everything you read on the internet with a grain of salt. Please do your due diligence. If you see an article, I think the main problem with today's society in general is that we just read headlines. We read headlines, and then I'll go to the bar, right? And some dude will be like, "Did you hear the Sixers are drafting Vj Edgecome over Ace Bailey?" And of course, I know the context of it because I study this shit like a maniac. That's how I have this YouTube channel. So, and a lot of people that see me out don't know that, so they'll say that. And I'll be like, where'd you see that at? And then I'll be like, yeah, but they could say this, they could say that. They could do the same thing when they work out Ace Bailey. They could say there's no real, what I mean? You just read a headline and you went nuts with it. So pump the brakes, okay? But there could be some merit to it, especially the fact that the Vegas odds have shifted in the favor of the 76ers drafting Vj Edgecome. Now, let's refresh for anybody that doesn't know anything about Vj Edgecome, okay? NBA comparison, Russell Westbrook, 6'5", 180 pounds. I think, I'm not going to read that whole thing. I want to give you, I think, just my opinion on Vj Edgecome before I say the last part of this. I would not be entirely upset if the 76ers draft Vj Edgecome over Ace Bailey. I want to say that right off the rip. Let me get the tweet that I made. Here's a photo that I used AI to make of Vj Edgecome in a 76ers jersey. I want to let you guys know that I think Ace Bailey's upside is higher because of his size. All right. I think 6'9", 210 versus Vj Edgecome, who is 6'8", or who is 6'5", 180. I'm sorry. I would take Ace Bailey personally off of his upside in general. But it is very possible that the 76ers see him as a player who could contribute more right now while having the ability to develop into a star. You know what I'm saying? If when I look at Ace Bailey, I see a lot more development time needed than I do with Vj Edgecome and some others. I think Vj Edgecome can come in and be more effective right now with his defensive ability, his switchability on the perimeter, his absolutely insane athleticism. Vj Edgecome can be a player who comes off the bench right now and is a spark. I do think that. But again, at 6'5", 180, his upside is just not quite as high as Ace Bailey at 6'9", 210. Both players are going to continue to grow. They're 19 years old. But I can see why, if this is true, I can see why it's true. And if you think about Daryl Morey and what he's looking to do, He's looking to get younger, obviously. I do think he's going to make the trade. I do think he's going to make the draft pick. I don't think he's going to trade the pick. I don't think the Sixers tanked as hard as they tanked to trade down. I think he's going to draft a player at number 3. But I do think it is up in the air right now. I thought Ace Bailey was 90% yesterday. 2 days ago. 2 days ago, I thought Ace Bailey was 90%. And now I'm looking at it and saying, I think right now, Vj Edgecome and Ace Bailey at number 3 is 50-50. Because Daryl Morey is looking to get younger, but he's also looking to win now. And I think between the two players, I think Ace Bailey has a lot more to learn over time than Vj Edgecome does right now. I think Vj Edgecome is a better decision maker right now. I think Vj Edgecome could slide in and be more of a plug and play player right now. And if Daryl Morey is looking for both, right, looking to draft a young player, but looking to be a contender next season. You know Daryl Morey is looking to be a contender next season. He still believes in the Joel Embiid, Paul George thing. He has to. So he's trying to help the 76ers' future. He's also trying to help them win now and possibly secure his job as GM. Things I love about Vj Edgecome. Dude, the guy is a freak athlete. And I think if the 76ers draft him at number 3, I'm not going to be upset either way. I think he's going to be I think he will be a ton of fun to watch. I think he will help the 76ers with perimeter defense and athleticism. I'm talking fast break dunks, fast break chase down blocks. He's a highlight type of player, and I think 76ers fans, if the Sixers do take Vj Edgecome, I think Sixers fans are going to absolutely love him because he flies around, he jumps out the gym, and he plays hard. His shooting, mechanically, looks perfect. And I've said this a million times about a player when they have a busted jump shot, rarely do they develop into having a good jump shot. If they have good mechanics on their jump shot and they just need to bring the percentages up, it's doable. Vj Edgecome shot 36% from 3 last season at Baylor. That's not a great percentage. He shot, his percentage did go up when it comes to the NCAA tournament. His percentage went up to about 39.1% from 3. His percentage of catch and shoot threes in the tournament, small sample size, only 21 attempts, but it was 47%. So his athleticism, his motor, his switchability on the perimeter, his ability to defend, his ability to run in transition and chase down blocks, and his catch and shoot potential is massive. This kid could be a great two-way player in the NBA, and he could be a high-level catch and shoot 3 guy. So I'm not mad at it at all. But I want to let you guys know that don't believe every report you read, but the reports that came out yesterday do have some merit. And I do feel right now that Vj Edgecome and Ace Bailey at number 3 is 50-50. Let me know what you guys think, man. Thanks for hanging out. I will see you on the next one.